Having a baby will ruin your marriage. It's crazy, but over 1 in 5 couples in the US break up in the first year after having a child. The truth is, it is not the baby. It's the fact that when she was falling apart, physically and emotionally, he acted like nothing had changed. When she bled and cried, he didn't even recognize her own body. He was just sitting there and waiting for her to get back to normal. The baby did not break them. His absence did.
So for this one, what we need to look at is the average age of first marriage. Okay, this is a big deal because for women, it's between 28 and 29. And what just so happens to coincide with women around that age, they hit the so-called wall, right? They're basically getting baby rabies. They're beginning to understand that their biology is running out, so they need to find a man and they need to settle down as quickly as possible. So for a lot of these marriages, the guy wasn't her first choice. The guy was just around and he was good enough. So they got into that marriage, had a baby, and then a little while later, she's like, ooh, well, I have a baby, but now I have a man that I don't really like at all. But the thing is, I can just divorce him and get a paycheck every single month, so I'll just do that. And really, that's what I think you see so much of today.
I realized the other day I ruined my career the day that I had my son. I absolutely demolished everything that I had worked my ass off for, and it's ruined. And on top of that, he's been sick for like the past 4 months. He's has another ear infection. So now I have to miss more work, more time away from my job. Like, I'm about to lose my job because I have a sick kid. What the fuck, man? And if you were ever like, oh, I'll just be a single mom, it'll be fine. This is what it's like. Hey, man.
Yeah, you know, there's this whole narrative today for women that when you have children, your life is over. Your life is over. I've heard that many times. And genuinely, this could just be a philosophical outlook, but really, I couldn't disagree more. Your life starts when you have children for women. That's when you start. That's when your God-given purpose is finally fulfilled and finally begins. But this is such an American mindset, a Western mindset, where the career is everything in the universe. That's the only thing that matters. I need to go sit in a cubicle for 8 hours a day minimum. And this is why, just another reason, it's not a good idea to date women like that. Okay? Because really, I'm of the mindset, I'm not a big convincer. I don't believe in having somebody that's totally against something. Like if a woman really doesn't want to have children, I'm not going to go into her life, start dating that woman and be like, hey, yeah, but children are so great. You know, you continue your legacy. They're so much fun. You can teach them anything. It's like, no, I'm not of that mindset at all. I'm not one to try and convince a woman all the way from the other side. I want a woman that is on board with how I want to live my life. I want a woman that's in sync with me. And if she's not, is she open to some of the ideas and open to the lifestyle that I have? I'm not going to go to some big feminist rally and try and have a relationship with any of those women at all. This is, again, why foreign girls are just better, bro. They're just better. They're much more traditional. A lot of them just already want children. They want them young as well. They don't wait until they're 35 just to consider it. That is their goal in life, is to have children, not a career.
I don't understand how kids my age are having kids right now. Now, mind you, I'm 26 years old. So it's actually very reasonable for people to be having kids right now at this age. But here's the thing. I feel like I'm still a kid myself. I've barely scratched the surface on my true interest and passions and hobbies in this life, and you're bringing in new life? That's crazy to me. I'm just not ready for that. And don't get me wrong, I want to be a mother more than anything in this life, but I just know I'm not ready, because here's my biggest fear. I would hate to get pregnant before I'm ready, and I know people are going to be like, you're never really going to be ready. No, but hear me out. It would ruin my life if I were to get pregnant right now, because I have spent like the past 25 years of my life basically following the guidelines of what other people told me to do, of what society told me I should do, of what my family told me I should do, just checking off all the boxes. And I would hate to have a kid and feel like I've never really got to live my life for myself and really explore myself and my hobbies, interests, and passions, and then just push all those interests and everything I didn't do onto my kids, onto my children. Like,
And this is, again, another societal narrative that you hear from women or pushed to women. And then they continue to say it to other women. That you need to find yourself before you become a mom. You need to be a fully fledged human being. And first of all, usually what that means is just hooking up with a bunch of random dudes. That's literally what it is. Doing a bunch of travel to find themselves in a bunch of random dudes' beds. But the thing is, bro, women discover who they are during their motherhood. During their motherhood. That is their purpose. Because the thing is, for actual, real self-development, it's difficult. It's not the easy things that makes you a more developed human being. It's the hard things. It's the things you don't want to do. It's the things that scare you. Going around and having a bunch of fun doesn't develop your character at all. And oh my god, we were playing mini golf and my friend got a hole-in-one and it was so cool. And after that, I was just a changed human being forever. I swear, I was so resilient. No. If you want actual character development, it's in the difficult things in life.
If you know me, you know that I do not want kids. And when people ask me why, I usually just say because I don't really like kids. But the honest answer is because I don't think I'd be a very good mom. And this is a song about that.
A song?
All my baby dolls had crayon tattoos. And all my fish got flushed down the drain. I squeezed the dog too tight and I let my houseplants die.
Okay, sorry, bro. I just can't, bro. I'm really not trying to be rude or anything. No, you're not listening to a song about not wanting children. We're just not.
Every time I have a discussion with someone about not wanting to have kids, and they hit me with, you don't want someone to take care of you when you grow older, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Wanting to have kids in this messed up world these days as a retirement plan is the most selfish thing I've ever heard. And with this entitlement and mentality, I don't think your kids will be sticking around when you're old. If you don't have all the means to properly raise a child, be present for them and protect them as much as you can in this messed up world that we live in, you shouldn't be popping kids. Whenever I'm having this discussion with someone and I'm asked a stupid question, it always comes from those who romanticize the idea of having a baby. Like they want a baby, but they don't want to raise a child, if you know what I mean. Before you go popping babies, ask yourself this question: am I capable, am I willing to take care of this soul, to take care of this child? Is Allah samahallah.
And this is another phrase that you hear. I don't want to bring children into this messed up world. You hear this constantly, bro. The thing is, man, you realize if your parents had this mindset, your grandparents had this mindset, your great-great-great-great-great-grandparents had this mindset, you wouldn't exist. You understand that, right? Like, people love to say this, like, just how terrible life is. Like, oh, it's just the worst thing that's ever happened to anybody. But it's like, bro, you look through history, and even with the stuff that's going on now, we still have it pretty damn good. We just do, bro. Especially if you're living in America. You can go online right now and you can have food delivered to you. You can be on your front doorstep, okay? Well, your great ancestors, they had to go out and fight for that food. They had to find it for themselves, man. But it's such a weird argument. Like, you had our ancestors in, like, dirt huts defending their small tribe from saber-toothed tigers. Do you think all of our homies from back in the day were like, oh, yeah, I just don't want to bring children into this messed up world? Like, no, this is a part of life. Bring children into the world because this is your God-given duty. This is what you're supposed to do. This is no different than wanting to eat food. This is no different than breathing air.
Never admitted this on the internet. I'm 23 years old and I don't want to have kids. Talk about it, shall we? First reason I don't want to have kids, and the most obvious, women statistically always end up doing more of the emotional and physical labor in the household with the children and in the relationship. So no matter how hard somebody tries to make it even, it will never be an equal split. And fuck that. You know what I mean? Second reason is that I'm a very hyper-independent person and I value my freedom. Of to solo travel, I want to be able to move different places. Feeling liberated and unconstrained is very important to me. Making a lifelong commitment to a child. I just thought of a tiny creature living with me for 20 years. I can't. Third reason, which is more relevant to my present state, and I don't think I'll be like this forever. I'm currently in a position where I feel like I can barely take care of myself. Working on my mental health every day and trying to get myself out of bed bed and trying to get myself to do basic human things and just function. I cannot guarantee that I will be like that 24/7 for 20 plus years in order to take care of a child. People often think that not wanting to have kids is a very selfish decision, which in a lot of ways it is. I don't believe that not wanting to have kids is always selfish. In a lot of cases, people are looking out for the child. There are days where I can't get out of bed or I'm far too anxious. How am I going to take care of a whole human? I don't think that's fair on the child, and therefore I don't think the reason is selfish. The reason is that I believe raising a child takes a village. In today's society, everybody is so individualistic and self-involved. We don't have communities anymore. If my friend had a kid, I'd be there. I think 2 people is enough to raise a family or raise a kid. I think you need grandparents, family members, siblings.
So this is a point I actually want to talk about, like America as a whole. America as a whole, it is not one of the best places to raise a child, especially for just an average person. Because I agree with this to some extent, that it does take a village to raise a child. And the more family you have around, the more extended family you have around, the better. But a lot of people today are quite disconnected from their family homes. A lot of people move away, they move around the states, and for the most part, it's just 2 people trying to start a family. And that makes it really, really difficult, not only financially, but emotionally as well. It is a heavy burden. And that's the thing with all of this, bro. I'm not saying that this stuff is easy at all, but it's like, what is all of this work for? What is all of this effort for? Why do you go to your corporate job endlessly? To buy more stuff? To buy more things? To go on another vacation? To go to a fancy dinner? Is that really what your life is? You're just a consumer? Like, people really don't consider this. Why are you working your entire life for all of this shit? Why? If it's not working towards some greater goal, something greater than yourself, what is the point, bro? Because things like that, the materialism, it's a black hole. You think about something you want, maybe it's a new car or something like that. The second you get that thing, now you're going to start looking at the next car. Oh, yeah, an Aston Martin actually seems really cool now. It's endless. It doesn't stop.
Fundamentally, I don't think any government policy is going to reverse the fertility crash. I'm completely doomer on that. I think it's a spiritual problem before it's an economic one. But I might be wrong. Let's give Hungary's pro-family policies a decade and see if the cultural change beds in. But even Viktor Orban, who's been aggressively pro-family and very expensively pro-family in terms of that country's policies, it's seen some uptick in the fertility rate, but it's very small. Fundamentally, the issue is a spiritual one, it's a cultural one. I suppose the only sort of succinct formulation I might want to give to that is to say that techno-capital is structurally antinatalist. And the only way to fix the antinatalism thing would probably be to smash techno-capitalism, which is a fairly radical proposal. And it's certainly not one that any political party is going to stand on in next year's election.
Human beings, without any influence, will procreate naturally. They just will. You take a healthy man, you take a healthy woman, you put them in a room together. Eventually, what's going to happen? Eventually, there's going to be a third person in that room, okay? I'll just say that. Remove all of these societal influences. You get rid of social media. You get rid of the government. You get rid of the corporations. And people will procreate naturally, as humans have done for thousands of years. Appreciate you guys watching, man. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, stay on the path of progress. I'll see you later.